Song Changji lowered his head before Jiying and began to stare at the ground in silence. Jiying started observing him, and his eyes widened with seriousness. Little Nine put her finger on her cheek. And her mouth watered. Our boy knew that if he cornered and fought against Song Changji, inevitably, his weaknesses would come to light. Instead, the most sensible thing would be to trap him inside his sea of consciousness to kill him directly using Little Nine, since as long as she did not emerge, it could not be considered a violation of the rules. Song Changji prostrated himself before Jiying as if he were a god. Our boy came out of his trance and, with a serene expression, mentioned that what he had said made sense, admitting that they both shared the same essence and origin. Luckily, his plan was already more than halfway completed, so he decided to spare his life. Upon hearing this, Song Changji could not help but thank him from the bottom of his heart. Jiying started to stare at him, extended his hand and with a confident gaze used his power. Explaining that he knew that Song Changji wanted to return to the cave, but mentioned that it was no longer possible to do so without damaging his origin. He advised him to enter his body, promising to personally take him back to the cave after dealing with the geniuses. Song Changji began to think and without overthinking it, accepted and thanked our boy, promising never to forget his kindness. Using his powers, Jiying extended his hand and absorbed Song Changji's body. Our boy's eyes began to shine with joy, and with a smile he revealed that it was too soon for gratitude. Song Changji was teleported to Jiying's sea of consciousness, which was filled with insects. And as if that weren't enough, there was also the dragon that our boy found in the tomb, and on top of it was Little Nine riding. Song Changji turned around and couldn't help but feel fear, not knowing what was happening. Little Nine rested her head on her hands, and her gaze fixed on Song Changji. She couldn't help but blush and stick out her tongue, since it had been a long time since she had devoured someone so powerful. Jiying gave her permission to eat, and without wasting a second, she transformed into the mother insect. While her eyes were glowing, she attacked him and began to devour him. Poor Song Changji started screaming in agony, begging for help. Jiying wiped his hand, turned to Jiying Wuxing and Yingzhan and asked why they were still kneeling. Their attention was fixed on Jiying. They were confused without knowing what had happened. Yingzhang's eyes filled with fear. He couldn't help but sweat and swallow hard upon seeing that Song Changji had knelt before Jiying. Jiying Wuxing, who despite being in shock, tried to remain calm. His mind was full of questions since the fight hadn't even started. He didn't know exactly what Jiying had said to Song Changji. The threads that were around the bodies of Zai Zuanu and the others disappeared. She stood up, placed her fist on her chest, and couldn't help but blush upon seeing that Jiying had saved her again. Liu Osandao approached our boy, closed her eyes, and with a grateful smile hugged him by the neck and gave thanks. Muhanu's eyes widened with admiration and love. With a smile she admitted that Jiying was her only god. Jiying remained silent, not knowing what to do. The attention of the others was fixed on them, and they could not avoid feeling jealous. One of Yingzhan's men put his hand near his mouth and with a sincere gaze mentioned that Jiying was too powerful and asked if they should continue fighting. Yingzhan felt somewhat embarrassed and with an angry gaze turned towards him and explained that Jiying had saved all their lives, so if they wanted to fight against him, it had to be after the battle for classification. Jiying stroked Liu Osandao's head and his eyes expanded with joy. He turned towards them and could not help but smile. There was still less than an hour left, and now that no one intended to keep fighting, he suggested going to the center of the secret realm to rest a little and eat a barbecue while waiting for the remaining time to end. Mahanku started looking at our boy with an expression full of admiration and began to smile. They went to the center of the secret realm, and using the system's inventory, our boy took out the barbecue equipment, and while a woman was preparing the food, Jiying and the others sat down to eat. Yingzhan grabbed a meat skewer and with a curious expression took a bite, thinking it was very good. Liu Osandao sat next to Jiying and with a smile said that he had a great appetite. Just then, a system window appeared in front of our boy, informing him that he had ascended from level 39 to 48. His attention was fixed on it. He was in shock upon seeing that he had jumped 9 levels at once. Not knowing if Little Nine had devoured Song Changji. Inside the Sea of Consciousness was Little Nine, who had already devoured Song Changji. Her eyes were full of satisfaction. She felt something in her mouth and used her hand to pull out a thread, thinking it was thorns. The thread was covered in Little Nine's drool. Jing paid attention and noticed that the thread was Zhu Landuo's soul. A status window appeared. This thread was a first-level divine weapon with several abilities. The first one was called Illusory Soul Collapse, which allowed the user to release spiritual energy, penetrate the enemy's sea of consciousness, and destroy their essence. The second ability was called Soul Lock, which allowed the user to absorb surrounding spiritual energy and convert it into their own. The third ability was called Soul Descent, which allowed the user to activate residual souls to form a powerful auxiliary spiritual body in combat. The thread had various descriptions. It was composed of countless souls of living beings, and after being nurtured with spiritual power for 100 years, it could fully fuse. The thread was currently incomplete and needed to merge with more souls to truly become a first-level divine weapon. It had evolutionary potential, so the more souls it devoured, the higher its quality would be and the more its level would increase. The special attribute of this weapon was that it could not recognize an owner or be temporarily activated. It required nurturing with spiritual power before it could be used. Jing appeared in the Sea of Consciousness, and his attention was fixed on the thread. With a serious expression, he realized why Song Changji had previously said that he needed time to refine the souls, realizing that the reason was that this weapon was not in its complete form. Now our boy had another hidden card that he could use. He decided to first nurture the thread with the help of the tree so that it would later recognize him as its owner. For him, raising equipment was not as profitable as raising insects. Little Nine's mind, who was flying beside Jing, was filled with confusion. She could not understand anything. The tree began to nurture the thread, and just then, a system window appeared informing him that the thread had been nurtured and could now proceed to recognize its owner. Jing was in shock at how quickly the tree had nurtured the thread. In reality, he had thought about nurturing it with divine soul energy to accelerate the process. The tree was nurturing the thread through a branch. For our boy, this tree was incredible, as it could not only protect his divine soul but even block the illusion of the great dreamer. Even when the ancient god tried to take over Jing's body, the tree had turned him into a fruit, and now it turned out that it also had a special effect on divine weapons. Jing took the thread, and the system notified him that the divine weapon had recognized him as its owner. Jing's eyes filled with joy, bringing a smile to his face. When he obtained the Hu Pio sword from the divine emperor of Juliu in the future, he would also give it to the tree so it could nurture it. With a curious expression, Little Nine began silently observing the thread. Fruits had grown on the tree again. This time one was green and two were blue. Jing was happy to see that the tree had borne fruit once more. And although they seemed low level, there was more than one. The system reported that the green fruit had the triple experience card, which could multiply the experience gained by 3 with a time limit of 3 hours after activation. The blue fruits granted the class change mission exemption card in the ability to allow our boy to skip the class change mission for a single profession. Jing put his hand on his chin, and with a curious expression, he began to read the information displayed in the system window. He couldn't help but smile upon seeing that he had obtained 2 class change mission exemption cards. He was level 48 and not very far from the 3rd class change, and now with the help of the card, he would be able to change classes directly later, making it very convenient. Jing's statistics window appeared. He was in the 2nd transformation and was level 48, with a combat power of 447 stars. Little Nine's attention was fixed on the system window, and her eyes widened in surprise and confusion. Jing snapped his fingers and remembered that he had also obtained a triple experience card. He decided to find a place to gain experience after leaving the secret realm and thought that perhaps he could complete the 3rd transformation. At the same time, In the great hall of the Church of the Ancient God, someone wearing a red hood placed their hand on their chin and began observing Song Changji through some portals. This person was the seventh pillar of the Church of the Ancient God known as the Lover. They couldn't help but laugh since they thought they needed to wait for the ranking competition, and they didn't expect that the Divine Sun could completely annihilate Darkseer's divine-level geniuses. Using their hand, they closed the portals and thought there was no need to keep watching and that it was time to act. The Lover was on top of a cliff and below were the other members of the cult. The Lover extended their hand and gave them the order to inform all headquarters that their allies in the caves, the marine race, and the forbidden zone of the depths should start stirring Darkseer's waters. Jiang Zuenji was going to be in charge of defending the cave, Jialing Qiu was going to face the old monk. And the great dreamer was not going to wake up for a while, and by the time she did, chaos would have already spread everywhere. And all the guardians of the realm and the sealed kings were going to be trapped in the quagmire without being able to free themselves. She was a red-eyed woman. She took off her hood, and her eyes began to shine with confidence. With a smile, she made it clear that Chuzhong was not going to have reinforcements and was inevitably going to be abandoned. And once the city was sacrificed, the rift beneath Chuzhong would open enough for the arrival of the ancient god. At that moment, the filthy human blood inside their bodies would be completely purified. Upon hearing this, the members of the cult raised their fists and began shouting, announcing the arrival of the ancient god. On the wall of Chuzhong, the night watch stood firm. On top of the wall were Jiaging and Tang. He mentioned that the 9 great regions of Darkseer, except for Humanges of Jinganan, had all entered into total rebellion. Jiaging began to observe the city and explained that the marine race and the cave races were on the move. The 8 great war zones of Darkseer had entered a first-level state of preparation, and although Chuzhong was not a striking city, they had to remain alert. Tang, who was sitting on the wall, turned to him and with a smile asked him not to worry since their great defense formation was already in its warming-up phase, and in less than half an hour it would be fully prepared. Jiagang's eyes widened with seriousness as they did not know how Jing Chen was doing, and according to the information he had obtained, it was said that the Jinganan team had entered the top 3. Tang began to show a finger and with a smile explained that this time, with Jing Chen and Jing Wushuing, securing 3rd place and fighting for first would not be a problem. She believed that Jing could obtain 1st place in the genius ranking, but that would depend on the subsequent ranking battles. While they were conversing, small explosions occurred in the city. Jiaging turned around and was confused, not knowing what was happening. Duan Feng and the others arrived. He began to shout, informing them that the transportation center had been destroyed and communication equipment had been cut off, and Chuzhong city was being surrounded by a beast horde from all directions. A beast horde began attacking the city, and Jiaging knew this was not good. Now that transmission and communication had been destroyed, Chuzhong city was isolated. He realized that this was a distraction to divert everyone's attention and attack the city. Jiaging approached the others and explained that the more critical the situation was, the less they could panic. He asked Duan Feng to maintain the defense of the wall and find a way to accelerate the full activation of the Great Defensive Formation and nuclear weapons. He entrusted Zhao Qi with the mission of activating the reserve emergency plan and finding those transferred who could transmit sound, and for those who could not receive it, then she had to use loudspeakers and manual transmission. He entrusted Bu Lang with the mission of gathering all the transferred in the city and coming with him to the front to hold back the beasts. Everyone's eyes began to shine with determination, and they nodded their heads. With a furious gaze, he drew his sword and jumped off the wall, deciding to go to the front line to hold on for a bit and leave the rear guard to them. At the same time, Zhong and the others came out of the secret realm with a joyful gaze. Ying Zan began to look to one side and felt relieved. Jing's eyes were filled with tranquility. He was confused, not knowing where the people were. Jing Wushuing crossed his arms upon seeing that everyone had disappeared and mentioned that he had a bad feeling. Zhu Wenji manifested and with a sincere gaze said that he had 2 pieces of news. The first was that the main forbidden zones of Daxia, the marine race, and the caverns had been revealed, forcing the high commands of each war zone to go provide assistance. Everyone remained listening in silence. The second piece of news was that half an hour ago an urgent message had arrived from Kujang, one of Jiang Min's war zones. Our boy's eyes widened in fear, causing his jaw to drop. He did not know if his master and his senior sister had gone to help. Zhu Wenji's eyes began to shine, revealing that the southeastern coast was in chaos. The marine race had rebelled and forces had been sent there to suppress them. Upon hearing this, Jiang then asked who had been sent to Kujang. Zhu Wenji revealed that no one had been sent to Kujang since the city ranked last among Jiang Min's cities, and although it was cruel, in an emergency meeting, Daxia's high command had made the decision to abandon Kujang in order to protect the other cities. Upon hearing this, Jiang couldn't help but clench his fist and questioned whether they had not considered the possibility that this was a distraction strategy. Ying Zan's eyes widened in surprise, and his attention was fixed on Jiang's fist. Zhu Wenji explained that they had thought about it, but compared to Kujang, there were places where they could not allow any mistakes. And no one could ensure whether Kujang was just a decoy or the enemy's true target, revealing that Jiu Kaishan did not want Jiang to know this but left a residual projection to tell him. He extended his hand and asked what decision Jiang was going to make at this moment. Our boy started looking at the ground and explained that for Zhu Wenji, Daxia was the home they had to protect, and he understood that this was what people thought. His eyes began to shine with determination. He clenched his fist and started releasing insects, and decided to return to Kujang since for him it was his home and no matter how insignificant it was, he would never abandon it. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, so subscribe to our channel, share the video, and like.